this guy was saying, he was like, yes, so we are the Moors, and we're over here, and we've always been here, and this is our land. He was like, the only way for us to win is to get a nationality card. And I'm like, no. Look, I'm like, no, because that is what, once again, it's a part of the corporation. That's why we up under this mess dealing with the corporation. Yep. Let me tell you, I think he had his girl handling all the texts that people, because he was live, and she was coming at me like low key. You could tell she was like in the background trying to tell the people, like, I was like, didn't the Moors get kicked out of Europe? And when they got kicked out of Europe in 1492, didn't they end up over here? She made it seem like, no, we always been here. And I'm like, okay, no, so not the same people.
Let me explain to you what they're doing. If you understand what they're doing, and it won't work on you.
But they coming out now, like you said.
Mm-hmm.
Because she felt some kind of way.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I definitely wanted to mention this March 16th, Blue Out Wednesday, post Larry Hoover hashtag with the Nipsey Blue.
March 16th? My brother just had a birthday. The one that I said you remind me of. His birthday was March the 5th.
Now look, March the 16th is the day they snatched Larry up.
Okay.
So this is a full turnaround to the day.
I feel it. Listen, I feel it. I feel it in the air. I feel it in the wind. I don't know what it is, but spiritually, and I've been noticing it for years, I have crows. I know, they're not crows. I have ravens. Big, nice, black, pretty ravens. Especially when I'm with my babies. If I could take them to the park or something, they fly over. Like, it's like protection, kind of. And I'm getting it from a spiritual. So I'm trying to in tune and listen, especially if I'm behind the vehicle. Like if I'm on a block and when I say they flock heavily around me, I be seeing the ravens fight the pigeons. It's crazy. So the pigeons would be on the wires, you know, on the wires, the pole wires. And the ravens will come out of nowhere. I could be sitting in my car, and they will, and the pigeons will fly away, and the ravens will sit there. I feel like I'm protected when I see them.
Mm-hmm. So you know, a pigeon is a dove.
Okay.
And the dove comes in multiple colors and subspecies.
Okay.
So the pigeon is the same bird.
Okay.
The raven brings the message from the other side, from the ancestors.
Okay.
When you have a flock of ravens around you, this is the ancestors watching over you.
Even when I'm not, if my son, because my son, he stays outside riding his bike. He likes to do the wheelie up and down the street. If you follow his page, he'll have the ravens over him too. Like, and I'm like, cause I said, that's Big Mama. They making sure that y'all protected. Like I feel it. Like I know everything you say is real.
I love the babies.
Yeah, he like you, that one right there. I think he a kind, like you said, that's a conjure baby. I conjured him up. Let me tell you what I got deep into. I got deep into, you know how they say they attach the spirits to the liquor, to the alcohol, right? I said, these commercials that tell you to drink responsibly, but they're not telling you that these are real spirits that was attached to them. So
they use specific alcohols for spirit transfer. It's normally red wine. And the reason why they use the red wine is because they normally infuse it with adrenochrome or some kind of blood product.
Okay.
Right. So drinking my blood, eating my flesh. Thinking them terms.
That church stuff. My body, the blood is for the wine is for the drink, the wine of the blood, and the chip or the crackers was for the body. Yeah, that they did in church.
It's called a ritual. It's called a cannibalistic ritual.
Yeah.
By cannibalizing the god, the belief is that you can incorporate the body of the god into your body.
Okay.
Right. So this gets cannibalism. And one of the things that the cannibals tell you is when they first eat somebody, that they get a rush, and the rush is the energy from that person they absorb.
Okay.
So if they kill a brave warrior, even if they're not cannibals, sometimes they'll eat a piece of them.
Ooh. Ooh.
And that's traced back all the way to, you can trace that back in almost every landmass.
Okay. Yeah, I studied up on it's funny you was mentioning that Putin. However you Vladimir.
Yep. Vladimir.
So from Romania or Armenia. Was it in another Vlad? Was it a Vlad the Conqueror? What was his name?
Vlad it's Vlad the Impaler.
The Impaler. Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
And it goes back to the same thing because they got pictures of him from the I guess his era where he used to cut the heads off the people and hang them around the castle. So when people would come to him for war, I guess they said that that it was so gruesome that they would turn away.
So they call him the Impaler because he would stick a long spear through the bodies and stick them up like telephone lights, like night lights. Like we got street lights, them would be bodies.
Okay.
And they would be leading up to his castle. And and that was the body of the people he defeated in battle. And he would put them up there to warn anybody else coming to fuck with him that I got something for your ass too.
Okay. Well, let me see the picture. Listen, so my kid's cousin, she my niece, because I've been watching her since she was little. I said she returned. I got a picture of a Seminole girl from like the 1800s. And when I say you got the picture, look at this picture. If you can see it. Let me see if I can get it. I said, welcome home. Look at this picture. That's her prom picture. She's in 8th grade. That's the same girl.
It's a little blurry. I'm familiar with the old Seminole picture. I can't see her that clear though.
Let me see if I can get it. It's probably the light in my kitchen. Hold on. Mommy, run off. Did it go off? Put it back on. Oh, here it go.
No, it's just that the camera not adjusting the focus.
Okay. Yeah, I said she returned. I sent her this picture. I said, oh my God, that's my niece. And this was an 1800 picture. But she's a Seminole. So when you say
the Seminoles we all went to fight in the Seminole Wars. Some villages uprooted the whole village.
Okay.
To come fight in them Seminole Wars.
Yeah.
So the term Seminole, that was not the term. That's not how we named ourselves.
It's many tribes that was like, it was Creek. It was a gang of tribes from all over. When I do my ancestry, it takes me to my mother, father's side, Bluntstown. Is it Bluntstown, Florida, where the Seminoles was at. But when you start researching, and you'll understand that the Seminoles was in South Carolina, they were in Georgia. They were probably I think they were in Virginia. One of my great-great-grandfathers was a Seminole. He got killed in Virginia, like they couldn't find him or something, but I guess he was in the wars. He was in the fighting the wars.
Yep, Seminole Wars.
But they would call them they was the Seminole Wars, but they was calling them, what is it with the Confederate? They was Confederate soldiers. They wasn't Union though. They was fighting for Florida, or they was fighting for South Carolina. And so I tell people like that Confederate flag used to be our ancestors.
That's it. They be telling us that the Confederate flag is the racist flag, right?
No.
This red, white, and blue shit we got is the racist flag. It's like me and my father had this conversation before he passed, and I was like, Pops, didn't half as many people die under the Confederate flag in race-related issues as it was under this red, white, and blue Old Glory? But we didn't know at the time that they had usurped us like they did.
No. Well, it makes sense. Your enemy will get you if they look like you. So when they say, oh, they sold you to the Africans, is the Moors, the Africans, and Europe, is it all the same? That's what I was wondering.
No. Look, I went over this earlier. The Moors that got kicked out of Europe, they're not even from here.
Okay. Yeah, I heard you. I was watching it.
They invaded Africa around the same time they invaded us looking for a home.
Okay.
So they had the
Dutch. They was doing invading around the world.
Right.
Okay.
Now, if you look at the timeline, they went into India first under Alexander.
Okay.
Then they fought a long, drawn-out war with the Huns and the Mongols.
Mm-hmm.
Right, and they fought wars against the Hindus.
Yeah.
They took POWs as permanent slaves from all of those communities, and when they got kicked out, that's who they brought over as servants.
Okay. The Mongoloids.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Because we already had dealings with them, right? Going way back. The people from this land married people from Asia and from Africa thousands of years before any Moors ever landed 1 foot over here.
Mm-hmm.
They trying to convince us that the Moorish Empire is ancient. They flag not ancient. Their religion not ancient. Right? They first stronghold in Europe was around 500 AD.
Okay.
As Roman.
Okay.
Right? But they established the Roman Empire before they flooded Spain and Portugal, going into what they call Rome.
Okay.
Right? They crossed out Hannibal, had him. Right. So that's the same people.
Okay. So they went against war with Hannibal. That's why I was wondering. So Hannibal wasn't a Moor. He wasn't a Moor.
He was a Carthaginian priest.
Okay.
He was a priest of war, what you call him a general. Right. Okay. They call him a general in modern ranking system, but back then he was called the high priest of war.
Okay.
Right. So his job is when the country go to war, he was to lead the troops in the battle.
Okay.
So they infiltrated the Senate in Carthage in order to cut off his supply line so that they couldn't fund the war, and they left him in the battlefield with no supplies.
Okay. Wow.
Once he realized what was going on, he knew that the next day was going to invade Carthage, so he tried to get back home, and then Rome cut him off, and that's his first and only defeat. Yeah.
Well, I got a question. I'm in Jersey. It's storming. Like it was like 70-something degrees today, but you could feel like in the atmosphere it's something spiritual going on. Like people not catching it. I don't want to be sounding crazy. I know I do, but I still go on with my belief because my beliefs is my spiritual it's always been there. It ain't just come overnight. You see what I'm saying? From a child, I always had a sixth sense. My kids got it. I got it. It's something different in the air right now, though. So I'm thinking we're in a change of everything. That's the prediction of everything that we've been putting out that energy for it to flip over. Big Mama is working her. I can feel she working her magic, but at the same time, she protecting us that need the protection because the war is on us right now. You see the gas prices. So they hollering the war over there.
So let me explain the gas prices so it'll make a little bit more sense to the people that's watching. We phasing out oil and gas, fossil fuels, because it's damaging to the environment. This is why all of the auto manufacturers is going to the production of electric vehicles, which is going to go to the production of perpetual energy vehicles.
Okay, what's she doing?
Right, so they know that this their last run on the fuel supply Because in 20 years, we're not going to be using fossil fuels. That shit, it's going to be worthless.
Okay.
So they're trying to get all they can out while it's going down.
I'm like, from last week to this week, and I'm in Jersey, but the gas was like $3.60. So when I went to fill up this week, it was like $4.29. I'm like, what's going on?
Hey, look, they got a thing on TikTok now. People going to gas stations talking about the most expensive place they ever been.
It's the truth. It's the truth.
Look, one dude took his girl to the gas station. He said, my girlfriend asked me to take her somewhere expensive. He had blindfolded and took her to the gas station.
It's expensive, okay? Listen, if I had a motorcycle, I would be jumping on that and the car would stay parked, because not just the gas at the gas station, they're heating gas.
Look, they trying to tax us all they can on the fall.
So what you say about that with the heating gas? Because I'm looking at that bill like, they taxing us just to have it put in. So you're taxing us to get it. You're not even taxing what we using. How that work?
So that's a little different. So what they charging is different companies that own pipelines that go to different subdivisions.
Okay.
The rent on the pipeline is what you call the tax.
Yeah.
Right. So the person that owned the pipeline, he owned the pipeline as holder in due course. That means he's the actual owner. You're not even the owner in due course of your car. That's why the state can pull up and throw that bitch away and you can't say nothing about it.
Yeah, because you turn it over to the state when you get it registered. Absolutely.
Well, even when you finance a car, if you don't read all of the paperwork, which most of us don't, you'll never know that when you pick the car up, right, they're not going to give you the title.
Nope.
Right? Because if you ask for the true title, then if they give you the title, then you don't have to pay for the car. You own it.
Yeah. Yep.
That's the collateral. That's what they holding back, the paperwork. That's why this is the whole system is based on paper chains and the adhesion contract.
Contraction. We under contract law with, and it's private contract, and then it's public. Like we're in the public. So when you got all your senators and all of them, they in the private. They not never paying taxes, even though they say we're gonna tax the rich. They ain't paying taxes because they in the private. That's what Trump said. They said, well, why you got all these, huh?
Look, that's not how the rich boy paying taxes though.
Yeah, they don't, do they?
They avoid paying taxes by they don't own nothing.
Okay.
They put everything in a trust or the foundation name. And the trust and the foundation is a 501 something, C3, C2 or something.
Yeah.
But the foundation ends up being a non-profit, a non-tax entity.
That's where they do the charities, right? The big charities.
Well, look, if you go to the Rothschilds, they don't own nothing, or the Rockefellers, but all of their wealth is through the Rothschild Institute or the Rockefeller Foundation.
Oh, wow.
They can live off of it. They just can't put it in their personal account.
They can live off, what they living off, the interest?
The petty cash drawer.
Okay. Okay. That's crazy. Did you hear about the lady in New York at the subway? Her name was, what was her name? Annie Rothschild. It was funny because, it wasn't funny, but they said that they hit her upside the head with a hammer. Somebody mugged her and robbed her. And so I said to my mother, I said something more to the story. Let me look into it. What was her name? Her name was Annie or Annabelle Rothschild. I said Rothschild. Everybody don't got that name, right? I guess she's one of the scientists of the health and wellness or something, or mental health or something in New York. So I started looking into it, right? I said it's more to it than what they telling us. They saying she just got robbed and got hit. She's a Rothschild. Ain't no telling what she done did.
Well, one thing about it is, if you robbing a Rothschild, you practicing because they don't carry money. Now they might carry a bag of diamonds. But they might have a suitcase with a couple of gold bars with some gold coins in it. But for the most part, they don't carry money.